G'day guys, welcome back to another episode on Farming Simulator, the Start From Scratch series. So in the previous episode, we were trying to save up some money to purchase this new field which is behind this shed here. We are now able to purchase that. We've sold some extra stuff, sold a few bales of silage and some milk and some other things as well. So we do have enough money now that we can purchase that. And just in time too, because next month will be the time when we harvest. So we haven't purchased it yet, but we are going to purchase it almost immediately, but we have to mow this grass. I don't know what's been going on with my grass field this year, but we are short one cut so far. It didn't grow very well for the first few months of the year. Normally it should get 3 or 4 good cuts out of it, but this is only the second cut. So it must be 4 cuts per year. So we're running low on silage. Normally we try and sell silage as well, but we haven't been able to do that so far this year because we need to keep what we produce now for the cows. So that's going to be the plan. So I don't know if there's much else for us to do today really in terms of what we can do. We haven't got any harvesting this month. We'll have the wheat field ready at the same time as the new field that we want to purchase. But 2 harvests in one day might be a little bit much, but luckily we get 2 months to do the harvest. So we'll do one in July and we'll do one in August. Doesn't really matter which one, but seeing as we're getting a new field, I'll probably go with that one first. So we can get this all set up. We'll do the tricky little bits that the workers would get stuck with. So we've chopped down a few extra trees as well. I'll probably chop down the rest of them at some point because once we purchase this field we're going to be a bit short of cash. We're not going to have anything in the bank, and it's quite a long time until we're actually going to be able to sell stuff. Like the milk's best in October, and I think that's the next thing available for us. But I'm going to get a worker set up mowing the grass, and then I can come behind with the baler, and we also need to do the loading up as well. So I'll probably do quite a bit of editing in there, and I'll just put some music on and we'll just get the motions done. So enjoy that, and then I look forward to purchasing the new field for you probably in about 1 minute. For me, probably half an hour. And there we go, there's the grass field all wrapped up, mowed, baled, stacked and fertilized for the next cut. So let's just boost over here and we'll take a look at our new field. Be ready to harvest in July, and it's 100% fertilized, going to be a good yield. So we are ready to purchase that, and that is not going to leave us with much in the bank. So as we can see, ready next month, and we can do it next month or the month after. So let's just select that. 243 pretty much, and we've got 245. So purchase that. Source site now with an empty bank account pretty much. But let's take a look at the field now. So just looking at it from a bird's eye perspective, up in this top left corner here, I think that's going to be a really good spot for a grapevine. We could fill that whole area with vines, and that'll be enough to keep us going. We can get the raisins and the grape juice produced out of that. We don't need a grapevine much bigger. And for the field itself is going to be just basically to keep the oil factory going, so we can have the canola being produced, and when that runs out then we can have sunflowers, and that should keep the factory going all year round. But that is going to be a pretty decent sized grapevine that we'll have there. So just before we end the month, we do need to make sure that the cows have enough food to keep going. They are running a little bit low, and just one load will be enough to top them up, so we'll get that going. And it looks like they don't need any straw, and they got a bit of milk happening. We'll be a little bit short though, because we did sell a carton load of milk. So there's nothing in the used machinery for us today. We are going to need to keep an eye out for some grape machinery though. That'll be the next purchase that we need, and I kind of feel like we're going to need another tractor as well now that we've got an extra field to deal with. Well, here we are in July, so we're going to jump into the harvester. Well, we got the wrong header on, and we are stuck in the garage on both sides. So yeah, we'll have to swap the header out so that we can harvest up canola, and we'll leave the sunflower header here. I should really put a shed down at the sunflower field, and we can just leave that there. I don't want to buy a second harvester just yet because we don't really need it, but we could leave the header down there, and we don't really have any other equipment needed for that field. But well, we could just park it in the bushes, I suppose. So we'll get this other header on, and we'll obviously our wheat field is ready today as well, but we won't do that today. We'll probably do our canola field, deliver that straight up to the oil factory so that can get cracking, because it's currently not producing anything. And then when the sunflowers come ripe, we will put them into the oil factory as well, but we won't be producing any of that until the canola has run out, because I don't want to be trying to separate two different types of pallets that are produced. We'll just sell one in bulk and sell the other in bulk, so there'll be two selling times per year, and hopefully they'll be around about the right time, as in when it all empties out. That will be a good time to sell. Otherwise we might be a little bit undervalued, but no big deal. So nice to be producing a new field, nice to be harvesting it, I mean. Got ourselves, it's a very good sized field, and there is room to expand it a little bit, but I don't really want to, because like I say, I want to put a vineyard in at the back. Otherwise I would probably cultivate that area and expand the crop, but I think a vineyard is a good call. We are in France after all, and France is known for having vineyards all over it. But the next logical step would probably be the field on my right now. But that's probably a little bit away from where we are right now. We need to save up some more money again, now that we're broke. Won't take us too long though. We are producing quite a lot of goods now. We are making good money every year. didn't take us long to get the money for this field up together. Definitely having the clothes production makes things a lot easier, but we don't want to exploit that too much. So I'll do a couple of runs on this field with the harvester, probably just enough to fill the harvester one time, and then I'll be setting up a worker on cultivating, although we don't really have any money, so I might have to sell a few silage bales just to make sure that we can keep the staff employed. I do not want to be going into the negatives. We do still have a 300,000 loan that we have to pay off, but I don't want to be borrowing any extra money. We have money of our own sitting around. It's just really not the right time to be selling anything that we've produced. So we'll keep going. We'll sell up a couple of bales and that can get the cultivator running, and we'll have to keep the harvester running as well, and I will be in the other tractor, probably in the class tractor, doing carting to and from the oil mill, and we will also probably have to spill some slurry onto the field so we can get this field turned around immediately, because I don't think there's much of a window for planting. And tomorrow we're going to be busy with the wheat field, doing a turnaround as well, harvesting, cultivating and fertilizing. So we don't really have a spare day to just leave it and do anything on it tomorrow. We want to have August all about the wheat field, keep the chickens going. They're another good source of income, and in that way this field's just fully ready for when we do the planting, but we will probably have to do a second coat of fertilizer. Our seeder doesn't do fertilizing as well as seeding, so we will do a second load of either slurry or manure, probably manure because I like to mix it up. Do a first coat with slurry, second with manure. So that's pretty much that, but this is going to pretty much take up the whole day. It's a big job. It's going to be a massive harvesting job for this small harvester, so we'll have to keep a worker in it full time. We can do all the other stuff with the trailer, cultivator and the slurry, so enjoy. Alright, well, we did one lap with the harvester and this worker seems to be doing quite well. He's just going to go up and down the field now for the rest of the day until he's finished, and I will keep on it with the trailer, and once he gets a little bit ahead of us then we can think about getting the cultivator started as well. I don't want to run the cultivator too close to the harvester in case he ends up overtaking and removing some of our crop. So there's our first empty harvester. I don't know if it's going to be the full load, but it was pretty close. So there's quite a bit, 5,000 litres. We'll leave it at that. And we will just park the trailer up over here to one side. Now the money is very low right now, so we are going to have to jump into the telehandler in a minute and get down with a couple of bales to get them sold, because if we run out of money he'll probably stop working. I think that's probably what happens. I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know if you just go into the negatives with a worker or do they just abandon work. I would probably just stop if my boss wasn't going to pay me. If I knew his bank balance was on zero, I would probably just see ya. But we'll get the cultivator over there. Might get it started, but I don't think we're going to have enough money to actually do that. The money's going to go down really fast once the second worker starts, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll take down 2 silage bales to the animal dealer. So yeah, I'll just park this up here for now. I'll leave that there. And we will grab we are going to need the class tractor. That's going to be doing the carting to and from the new field to the oil factory. So we'll get that set up. And we're also going to need the telehandler out. So how are these bales doing? Not quite ready. We don't want to sell a whole load of silage anyway. Just want to take a couple of loose bales. And then we can just top up enough just to keep the staff going. I could do all of it myself, but it would take a very long time. And it would be a lot of work. And having the ability to use AI workers, you may as well use them. They're there. So we're going to go and sell 22,000 litres of silage. That should top up the account quite nicely, probably 2,000 or 3,000. Workers are very expensive though. That'll keep us going for long enough, and if we have to sell something else a little bit later, well, maybe we can. The silage all on the trailer now is all to be kept, so if we do have to, then we could sell a couple of those other bales that are outside the shed, because I believe we do have enough stock now to at least see us through the winter. I hope so anyway. The next cut that we do on our grass field, we're going to have to make some hay because we don't have very much of that available. And then hopefully next year we're back to normal service with the silage. Probably have to top ourselves up with the first cut, but we might be able to sell the second one. Okay, here we are. Here we are at the animal dealer. So we'll dump these two bales down. And we should get ourselves at least a couple of $1,000 out of this, I think. 1,700 pretty much. That's not too bad. We can live with that. That's going to be enough for us to get another worker going on the field. So we will use the in-game mode here where we can select for an AI worker to deliver this vehicle. We'll bring that back to our grass field, and then if we have to, we may sell a couple more bales before the day is out, because there is still a lot of work to do here, which means we're going to be using AI workers for quite some time today. So I don't know how far this $1,700 is going to get us in terms of wages. I could cut the cost by doing some things myself, but I'm actually fairly busy doing the carting because we've got to go all the way to the oil mill and back, which is more or less going to be a full load in the harvester. So the harvester is just about to do a U-turn and go down, which means the pipe will be on the wrong side for us. So we can't unload it just yet. We'll have to wait for him to go down to the bottom and do a turn. And then he'll have his pipe out into the cut crop already, which means we can load. Because we have crop destruction on, so we don't want to be driving through the crop. We don't want to destroy any. So we will go down to the bottom end and leave it there. Wait for the harvester to reach the bottom, and we'll follow it all the way to the top of the hill. And that will pretty much give us our first full trailer load, which we can then deliver to the oil factory. Let's just have a look. This guy is he's pretty much full. Hopefully he gets to the bottom and can do a U-turn. Otherwise I'm going to have to take control of the harvester and reverse out so that we can use the pipe. So this guy is stuck on a wall, so I'll finish the journey for you. I wonder how much he was costing me driving into that wall and just sitting there. Probably would have been a few dollars. They're not very cheap, these guys. You can see the money is going down quite fast. It's more than $1 per second, I would say. So I don't know how far that is actually going to get us at all. We'll be lucky to do half the field. I think it's probably best that we get the telehandler loaded up with a couple more bales to take down to the animal shop, and then we can sell those when the time comes if we need to, and if we don't, well, we can always just drive them back. no big deal. But the harvester is going up the hill now, as we can see, so it's probably best that we just jump out of this and into the case tractor, and then we can take that. Yeah, he is full now, so we best get this loaded up. It's not the case tractor, sorry, it's a class tractor, the big green one. So here we go, probably going to be a full trailer load or just about. So after he's emptied, we'll get this off down to our oil mill, and we won't start the production until we've harvested the whole field though. Well, she was struggling a little bit with the hill there, and we've only got 10,000 litres in the trailer, just under 80%, but we're all good with that because the harvester is still moving. So by the time we get back to that field, they're probably just about going to have another load ready for us. But now we get to tip this into our newest production, into the oil. 10,000 litres is going to go in. Should we get that started now? We probably should, really. We might as well leave that to start running. That should produce pallets quite quickly. And if that's one trailer load off the field so far, we've done about a third, so we might be looking at around about 30,000 litres of canola. It's not a bad return for the purchase of the field for us. Alright, just got the harvester going to run up the hill here again, and we are going to take whatever he puts into the trailer for this whole run up the field. Should be around about a similar amount as the first trailer load, and then we can get that delivered. I have had to go and sell a couple more bales as well, just to keep that money flowing, because it is dropping very fast, and there was no way that 1700 from the first load will get us through. We have dropped 2 more bales off, so hopefully that should see us through to the end. And we are going to start with the slurry very soon, now that the cultivator has jumped quite ahead of us. We have enough room that we can do a load of slurry or 2, as well as running the trailer. So we are being quite efficient so far, I would say. We can run trailers and do the slurry, and the cultivator and the harvester can just keep doing their thing. So there we go, he's empty. Here we go, up here with another 9,500 litres, so we are going quite well. That's going to produce quite a lot of canola oil, so we're actually going to get reimbursed in a way from the field that we purchased, because it came with a crop. We paid 242,000 for that. We'll get a little bit of a return out of the crop when we sell it as the oil, so I'm pretty happy with the field now. Time to do a bit of slurry spreading. The cultivator has got ahead of us plenty now. We can keep on top of things. There's enough room, and we can also just chill out and do other things as well, while if we do catch up. But it'll be interesting to see how far the slurry goes. It would be nice to have a larger spreader, but we don't really need it at the moment. It's not important that we upgrade this thing just yet, but it's all free fertilizer. That's what we like to see. It's an organic use, putting it all back in. Everything that we get out of the cows is profit, especially the fertilizer. We should really utilize it a little bit more and probably do some fertilizing contracts when they pop up. Okay, that's pretty good. 50%. We didn't turn it off there, unfortunately, but 50% to go down, so should hopefully be 50% to go up. Might be running at a little bit of a slower rate, but hopefully if we can do 1 run up and 1 run down out of 1 tank load, then that's going to be pretty good. And then once we've done the planting, we will probably either use the slurry or the manure again to go over the top of that. And then that will be the second coat. So that will be a fully fertilized field once more. another round of canola, and this time next year we'll be doing the same process, and hopefully by then we'll have our grapevine. So I am looking forward to building that. So we need to go and have a refill now. Well, harvester is pretty much finished, so we'll just follow him now down to the bottom and see what we are left with in the trailer. This will be the final load, third one. So we should hopefully be looking at around about 10,000 again. I'm really hoping that we can hit the 30,000 litre mark, because it's just a nice round number. Going to get a good amount of literage out of that into the oils. I'd say we're looking pretty much on track for that. So we've already done a load of 10,000 litres, and then it was 9,500, and now it's just about nearly 10,000 again. So yeah, pretty good. What's that, 30,000 litres. Now I'm just going to move the harvester while we go and deliver that, because otherwise this cultivator might end up getting stuck, telling me that he can't move. So we will move and just park this thing up here, and that should give the cultivator enough room to keep going. And we'll get on up to the oil factory and we'll dump this in there, and then that thing can just keep working until it's all ready for us to sell. And the final load up to the oil mill. Now we can just leave this to keep going. We better check to actually see when the best time to sell is as well. Hopefully it's all produced up by the time that happens. So down to the oils, olive oil, canola oil. Best price December, that's good. That's when we like to make our money. And sunflowers oil is in March. So we've kind of got like a 3-month period to fill in there. So hopefully the canola oil will be all ready by December. It does produce quite fast. And then the sunflower oil I don't think will be ready by March, but it could be close because we processed that in October. So, but that's going to be good income over the next few months. Once we get to sell that, we're going to have quite a good bank balance. Well, we are back with the slurry. The cultivator is almost finished. He's got a couple more runs up and down, and that should probably work out about right with the timing for us. So we've done a good turnaround on this field. Harvested, cultivated, and 1 layer of fertilizer. The next step will be probably weeding, and then planting, and then more fertilizer, and then we can just leave this field alone to do its thing. So I'll just quickly get the slurry all spread onto the field now. Last little bit, just not even going to use the full tank here. We could be applying the double application, but I don't really see the need to do that. It gives us another job to do. We're not really that busy at the moment. When we've got more fields to do, then maybe I will do the double application with the slurry. But if we do double application right now, it kind of means we're just not even going to be using the manure. So it's just a good excuse to get some use out of the manure. So let's have a look at our field. Canola planted, next job is actually going to be to harvest the wheat in the next day, and we're going to have to plant the canola as well. So we might plant, well, I reckon harvest the wheat field tomorrow, get that turned around just like this one, and then we can do planting both fields in one day. I think that's probably the best bet. So it's all good. Our new field is one stage of fertilizer. We'll have to do the second, but that's fine. It's a decent sized field. We're going to need to think about doing the vineyard in the coming months. I think you can plant after New Year. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.